Welcome to iSpeakMath online video tutorial, where we provide you with modern-day strategies and techniques in a language that you can understand, both literally and figuratively. Today we are focusing on another form of multiplication by using the Chinese multiplication method. It is literally my favorite strategy in multiplying multi-digit numbers. I use this technique with all of my students, and they find it easier to multiply instead of using the standard algorithm. So what I'm going to ask is that you grab a pencil and a paper so we can go ahead and get started. So there's many ways to multiply multi-digit numbers. As I mentioned in previous videos, this is why I do this, to show you the different ways of doing certain math skills. And that is why today you are going to learn the Chinese box method. I know what you're thinking, not another area model, I promise. It's a little bit more simple with less steps. Without further delay, let me go ahead and show you. So example 1 reads, 45 times 23. First thing first is I'm going to go ahead and draw a box. So I'm just going to draw my box in this little area space here. Okay. I never said I was going to draw a perfect box. Okay. All right, now that we have our box in place, we're going to go ahead and line up our numbers. I'm going to start with 45 since it's the number on the top. So I'm going to put 45 on top of the box. So 4, and then make sure you space out each digit, okay? And then I'm going to look at my 23 and I'm going to put it on the side of the box. And then once again, we are going to space out our number. And now I can draw my lines to kind of separate each digit because they represent a more important role in this box method. So now we have 45 and times 23, it still remains. What I'm going to do is I'm kind of similar to area model, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what area model is, no worries, you don't need to know this. But I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. So because this number, this box and this number is on top, 4 meets with 2, okay? So 4 and 2 kind of meets up when you look at their angle or where they're at. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little line, okay? It's going to kind of make 2 triangles, but I'm going to make that diagonal line, and I'm going to write my answer, which is 0, 8, since 8 is a one-digit answer or number. Now I'm going to look at the next box. The next box is 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10. I'm going to draw my diagonal line like I always do in the middle. And then my answer is 10, so I can write 1, 0, which represents 10. Now I'm going to go into the bottom row of the box. And now we have 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to draw my diagonal line. I like to keep it all straight and neat. So it's going to look like this. And then I'm going to draw or write my answer, which is 12, 1, 2. My last box that hasn't been filled in is here. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 3, which is 15. I'm going to go ahead and draw that diagonal line. Remember, we always do that. It's very important. And write out my answer of 15. Now, what I'm going to do, and this is a very important step, is extend those lines that we created, okay? So this line here, I'm going to extend it so it can be like that. My next line, I have another one, so I'm going to extend it so it can look like this. And then my next line, I'm going to go ahead and extend it, and it will now look like this. Oh, that line just separated went away. So now I can go ahead and add, okay? Remember, addition, multiplication is repeated addition, so adding will never go away from that. So 5 plus nothing, so we have no other numbers here. 5 plus nothing is 5, so my answer I'm going to put at the bottom is 5. Okay, so now we have 0, 1, and 2 here. 2 plus 1 plus 0 is 3, so I'm going to write my answer down, which is 3. Then we have these numbers, 1, 8, and 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'm going to go ahead and write my answer down. The thing with this way of doing addition or adding it, we cannot take two-digit numbers into the section unless it's the last boxes that set of box or last box we're adding together. So I'm going to erase this, okay? I'm going to erase it, and what we're going to do is put the 0 down, and that 1 will have to move over to the next box. That 1 will go to the last box on the top, and now I have 0 plus 1, and 0 plus 1 is 1. So I added my 1 here, and then now I can, and there's no other numbers alongside that box, but I'm going to go ahead and write 1 down here. So now we have 4 numbers that are outside. Those are the numbers that are blue, and that's my final answer. My final answer is now 1, 0, 3, 5, but we know that we read it as 1035. All right, example 2. Before we get started on this second example, if you have your confused face on, no worries. We're going to do another practice run. I do recommend to follow along by writing out the steps to build your math memory so that you know what the steps are. So when you're trying to do it on your own, you get a little bit more comfortable, okay? So please make sure you're using your pencil, paper, and you're watching as we're doing it together. So the second problem reads 98 times 56. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my box like I always do because this is the method. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and look at my first number, which is 98. Remember, the top number will go onto the top of the box, so 9, 8. Put a little space in between them, and then we're going to look at our bottom number, 56, and put that number beside the box, so 5, 6, with a little bit of a space. So now I'm going to draw out my line to separate it. And remember, when it comes to doing the Chinese multiplication box method, it's all about multiplying those numbers that meet. So in this case, we have 9 and 5, they meet up. So we're going to multiply 9 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. So I'm going to draw my diagonal line, and I'll write 4, 5. Then I look at my second box, which is this one, and the numbers 8 and 5 meet up. Since 8 and 5 are meeting up, we're going to multiply those two numbers, and 8 times 5 is 40, okay? So I'm going to draw my diagonal line, and I'm going to write 4, 0. Now I'm going to look at my bottom box, or my bottom row, and I'll see that we have the numbers 9 and 6 that meet up. 9 times 6 is 54. I'm going to continue that diagonal line, and I'm going to write 5, 4 for 54. My last box is 8 and 6 that meets up. 8 times 6 is 48. As I draw my diagonal line, keep in mind we always want to make sure our numbers line up accordingly. So now that we filled up all of our boxes, we're going to continue that diagonal line, and I do this because it helps make the numbers make sense when we're trying to figure out the answer at the end. So now we are able to go ahead and add. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. That number 8 is by itself, it's solo, so pretty much we're going to roll it over and write 8 here. Then we look at our next section, which is 0 plus 4 plus 4. We know 0 plus 4 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. I'm going to write 8 over here as my answer. Then we're going to move on to the top box. So we have 5, 5, and 4. So we're going to add them up. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. I'm going to go ahead and write the 4 here. Because it's two-digit, we're going to go ahead and put that 1. I like to insert it in one of the boxes so I don't forget. So now we have 4 plus 1, which is 5. I'm going to write my answer up here, and I'm going to be done. So now we're going to line up our answer because we have 5, 4, 8, and 8. So our final answer is 5,488. See, that wasn't so bad. It's all about practicing, and then you'll get it right. But like I said, this is my favorite way to multiply. Even my students love it, and I hope you do too. All right, so now we reach example 3. It wouldn't be an I Speak Math video if we had a turning twist on how we're using this new method. We have 281 times 45. Before you freak out, I promise you it's not that bad. We're going to keep it moving with the box. I'm going to draw out my box. Maybe this time around, I'll make sure my box is a little bit wider, more like a rectangle, just to accommodate that 281, and I'll show you. We're going to look at our first number on the top, 281. I'm going to write 281 on the top of the box, and I'm going to look at our bottom number, which is 45, and I'll write it beside it, 4, 5 beside the box. Now I'm going to go ahead and create my lines that will divide and conquer. And then once I'm done with that, we can go ahead and multiply. All right, so now it's the same thing. We're making sure we line up and find those numbers that meet, and then we multiply, and don't forget to draw out our diagonal lines. So 2 times 4, because those are the two numbers that meet up, is 8. I'm going to go ahead and draw my diagonal line, and I'm going to put 0, 8. Then I look, 8 times 4, because those two numbers meet up, is 32. I'm going to draw out my diagonal line and write 3, 2. My next is 1 times 4, which is 4. And I'm going to draw my diagonal line, and I'm going to do 0, 4. Then I can look to see the bottom row, which has some empty boxes, and we're going to multiply for the answer. And the numbers that meet up for this bottom left-hand box, it's 5 and 2. 5 and 2, 5 times 2 is 10. And so we're going to go ahead and draw our diagonal line and write 1, 0 for 10. Then we're going to look for our numbers that meet up, which is 8 and 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So I'm going to draw my diagonal line, 4, 0. And then now we reach the last box, which is 1 times 5, which is 5. And I'm going to draw my diagonal line, and I'm going to write 0, 5. That represents 5. So now we're going to continue on by extending that diagonal line so it's outside the box. All right, and now we are ready to add. 5 plus nothing, because there's no other boxes in that section, equals 5. So I'm going to write 5 here. 4 plus 0 is 4, so we're going to write 4 down here. Now we have 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 0. So really it's 4 plus 2, which equals 6. So I'm going to write 6 over here. Now we have 3 plus 8 plus 1. So I'm going to start off with 1 plus 8, which equals 9. 9 plus 3 equals 12. I'm going to write my 2 here, and that 1 goes to the next box on top. And I'm going to put plus 1 so I don't forget it. And now 0 plus 1 is 1. So really we're writing 1 over here. And now my numbers are lined up. We have 1, 2, 6, 4, 5. This means that my answer is 12,645. See? I'm telling you, this is amazing. It blew my mind. My way of multiplying moving forward. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like it. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope you like Chinese multiplication box method just as much as I do. Please make sure to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. Remember, iSpeakMath offers math tutorial videos to help you feel more comfortable with solving math problems. We have this video in another language. If you speak that language, please check it out. Until next time, bye.